And we're live.
There, like I think it's kind of annoying right now. We were talking about this a couple days ago because Woody's obviously traveling, and it's important that he gets good internet for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying, oh, maybe like Airbnbs are the way to go. But because of COVID, it's harder to get one night stays in Airbnbs than it used to be because they have to do like the complete cleaning nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's lame. I'll be glad when this fucking thing is over. I don't want to hear about any more fucking variants. Don't tell me about Delta COVID.
Every time I hear about a variant, they say the current vaccine handles it too.
Yeah. Don't tell me about Panamanian COVID or.
I'm just like, you know what? I'll get an annual vaccine. I don't give a fuck. Just stop bothering me with all your variant details. Put it in there when I get it next year.
They just, I mean, I read about something like some kind of weird fucking mosquito-borne COVID-like virus last year. It's just to get clicks. They're just trying to get.
Yeah. You guys think it came from a lab?
Yeah. I think I'm like 70%.
I don't care either way.
I'm like 70% sure that it. All right, not. Sure.
I don't think it was. It wasn't if it did, it wasn't like let's make this and fucking release it onto the world. It probably got contaminated. Like somebody fucked up procedure and it got loose. It's not like how do you think they go through and figure out how to handle viruses? Like they're working with SARS-CoV in the fucking lab probably. That's like,
I think it began in a lab. I'm like not 100% obviously, but like I strongly suspect that. But then like going back to those Chinese wet markets where they've got like 8 kinds of animal that we don't even know about stacked on top of each other, like shitting on top of each other, and each animal that we've never heard. I didn't know what a pangolin was. I didn't know what a fucking pangolin was. Like I know what so they showed me a picture of one in a cage in a Chinese wet market with people in the background eating scorpions and shit.
For people not up on this issue, this is the background. Originally said that COVID existed in bats and COVID-19. And the thing that made it unusual is that it could switch species. Usually, if you get sick, you can't give it to your dog, your cat, whatever. This could go from bats to humans. And they ate this food that came from these Chinese wet markets. And that was where COVID came from. That was I think that's still the prevalent theory. I don't even know. It's hard to get any answers without politics being involved. But the more recent thing is that Fauci somehow funded Chinese research, and this Chinese research was about interspecies viruses. And, they found one that could work in both bats and people, which I guess is a gain of function research. That it used to just do bats and now it does more than just bats. It's a gain of function research. And that a guy who was doing this got sick, brought it home, got his wife sick, and then there's patient 0, and now there's the zombie apocalypse. And the Republicans are like, see, I told you all along it came from a Wuhan lab and this and that. Now they acted like China had sort of weaponized it and intentionally inflicted this upon the world. And now that the theory is some guy got it and gave it to his wife by accident, they're doing the I told you, and we still don't know what the truth is.
Yeah, my guess my guess is that they were they had it in a laboratory somewhere and it got out and they knew that right away and that they lied about that for a very, very long time. And where I think the real problem is, I don't think that they made a bioweapon and then unleashed it on their own people purposefully or accidentally.
To own the U.S., baby. Like,
yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But what makes more sense is that like they were doing some viral experimentation for maybe not weapons, but maybe just like
just fucking around in there.
To learn around
doing whatever evil scientists do. And it got out, and then we still don't know how many like Chinese it killed. And I don't think we ever will. Like the way they cover up their failures, like we just saw it right with the anniversary of the Tiananmen massacre or whatever, with the tank man and all that stuff, and how all that stuff is like forbidden content and it's hidden and everything. I mean, the way they rewrite history over there, who knows? Maybe it killed millions and millions and millions of Chinese. Like, we'll never know.
I don't know why everybody's upset about getting a booster shot. Like, I don't understand the issue here. Just fucking, like, if I need one every year, great. If especially if it's as easy and painless as it was to get the shot here, I was literally walk up, don't even stop walking, go immediately to a seat, sit down, get stabbed, and then they're like, all right, go away. And I was like, fucking okay.
I don't get it. I don't get why people are so fucking like we're supposed to, everybody's like, it's the same people who have an issue with this, who are like supposed to be like the alphas, right? Who are like, we're Americans. This is what we do. We're independent and strong, and I drive a pickup truck and all this nonsense. And it's like, yeah, but you seem to be really afraid of getting a fucking vaccine, bro. Like you seem to think that not wearing a mask is some sort of sign of your liberty or some shit. Like as if your dad didn't get a polio vaccine. Like,
that's that's a good one. Yeah.
Like what the fuck? Like my dad and my uncle obviously both got the polio vaccine because they were of that age group. And my uncle was kind of hesitant about this thing. And I was like, Dad, have you mentioned to him that scar on his fucking arm that everybody in you and his age group on the planet has today? And it's what keeps them from not being crippled right now. Like they knew it. We all knew a guy who refused the polio vaccine back in like, I don't know, 58 or some shit, 1960. Dude's in a wheelchair. Dude's always been in a wheelchair because he got fucking polio. Guess what? Polio vaccine worked. Those people didn't get polio. That's a good thing. There's no more polio, I don't think. If there's still polio, that's shocking to me. I'd be surprised. But I'm pretty sure we completely eradicated polio through a fucking vaccine. That came from the 60s. And I definitely trust our scientists today more to make a safe vaccine than you trust those guys from the 50s, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I lined up for that shit as soon as it was available. And, I figured like the worst thing that could happen is it's gonna like have some ill side effects, and I'm gonna be part of a class action suit. Like, kill me.
Hey, get $27. Like, hey,
yeah,
sure, let's go. And like it's like I was never too afraid of COVID anyway, as far as like my own health. It was like the people around me that I didn't want to infect. Of course, like you'd always hear those stories of people getting like permanent lung damage and stuff and all that. I don't even know.
Dysfunction was one of them.
I take so much Blue Chew, we wouldn't know if my dick worked or not at this point. That thing could have stopped working a year and a half ago. I'd have no clue.
Just running on high octane.
I take it every single day when I wake up.
Yeah, I'm with you on the COVID vaccine, and not everyone can take it. And I kind of feel like a chunk of society. See, you can't call people selfish, but that's how I see it. I can't get around that idea that they're just like, oh, fuck you, I'm fine. And it's like, you live in a community, though, and we're trying to eradicate this disease. And you're like, you guys will have to achieve herd immunity without me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't get it. Like I will say this. I never really got the flu vaccine because I didn't want to deal with like, first of all, I've never had the flu that I know of. Like I just never get it. I never do. I think I've got a decent immune system, and I try. I don't socialize with a ton of people. I don't go into a lot of crowded places. I've never had the flu, so like I was just like, I don't want to. I don't want to go like get stabbed in the arm. I don't want to deal with the like after a day or two after you get the flu vaccine, you're always kind of feel shitty. I don't want to deal with any of that. But this is different. It's like the whole fucking global economy is all fucked up, and we were fighting over toilet paper last year. The supply chain's all garbage, and like I'm tired of wearing a fucking mask everywhere I go. I had to wear a mask today when I went to the hospital pharmacy. It's just like, I'm tired of this shit. I don't want to wear a mask anymore. I don't like it. I want to go to the movies again. I want my AMC stock to improve. Let's
How is AMC doing? Is it going up?
I'm sure it is.
Look, I have to know.
That conviction.
AMC was the one I was more excited about in terms of a bet for, because it's a stock that was beaten down by COVID and seemed like it might just be naturally strong.
Yeah, I felt like things like Disney, Carnival Cruise, like AMC were all good bets.
Yep, I think that's what my financial advisor said to him. Like, just hey, hit the gamut of the mom and pop stores and see what happens, or not mom and pop, but like physical retail and whatnot. Because I hadn't gone shopping or done anything involving shopping until like they lifted most of the restrictions. So I would even have a reason to go wear some new clothes somewhere, right? Instead of just like waking up. So I was like, oh, I'm part of the group of people that's stimulating, the fucking retail stores.
I think retail's. I mean, it was already struggling, right? It was already sort of getting replaced by online shopping. I'm not sure it's going to go back, that they're going to go back to retail I could be wrong. Who knows? But kind of like the work from home thing with Taylor. You know, if there was never COVID, Taylor would have worked from work, and that's how work is. He gets COVID, and now it's like I need to work from home. It's a key issue to him. This is a bunch of things. I don't think they're going to go back. There's new things.
Some things won't go back, but the things that were for fun, I think that those things come back. And that's why I think that
okay.
That's why I think movies come back. But
was identical to the way that it was prior to. Like literally, it was in like
strip clubs, all that shit.
Yeah,
the stuff that you can't replace. Like you can definitely replace like going to your 9 to 5 video conferencing, but you can't replace going to a nightclub. That's not even my thing, but like you can't replace that. And like concert, as much as I do appreciate like certain titles being available to stream immediately, like I watched the new Conjuring movie the other day. Like that was cool. I was gonna go to a theater, and then I was like, oh wait, it's also on HBO. Well, let's fucking go. Like I'm not going to the theater. Like I can press this button, we can watch it right now. I'm like iffy if it's gonna be any good anyway. But it doesn't replace the theater. Like if it weren't available on HBO, I would have gone to a theater. And I'm gonna go to a theater as soon as I find something I want to watch. I keep looking at what's in theaters, and I'm just like, I don't want to see any of that shit.
There's a chicken and an egg thing, right? As you know, they have these great films in the can, and they don't want to put them in theaters till people go there, and then maybe people don't go to theaters until they put them there, and yikes. Somebody's
got to take that risk. We saw what happened with Tenet, though. I think that they released that way too early. I think if he'd waited till like now to release Tenet, probably would have that could have been the movie that brought theaters back. But
didn't something just do well?
I seriously doubt anything did well by like regular theater standards. Maybe by COVID standards, something did okay.